The hit wasn't an accident. Officer Aaron Ace Daniels, a white cop with a history of misconduct, hadn't just bumped into her. He swept his leg out and struck former Navy SEAL Mia Mad Dog Thompson in the hip in full view of the courtroom. Gasps rippled through the gallery, but Daniels looked smug, assuming no one would dare confront him. After all, Mia didn't look like trouble, just a composed black woman in a tailored blazer. But he'd made a mistake. Mia was no ordinary civilian. She'd served in combat zones more dangerous than any courtroom. And now, after years of serving her country, she was here to defend her younger brother, Troy, accused of armed robbery, a charge that didn't fit, not with how she'd raised him. As the judge entered and proceedings began, tension settled over Fairview County Courthouse like a fog. Mia remained composed, posture military straight, hands folded in her lap, her presence commanding despite the chaos inside her. Across the room, Ace lounged in his chair, cocky grin in place. Troy, barely 21, kept stealing glances at her, seeking strength. When the defense attorney called Mia to the stand, most of the courtroom turned with mild curiosity. Daniels turned too, until recognition hit his face. The smirk disappeared. Mia walked forward with quiet purpose, the courtroom falling under her spell as she stated her credentials. Petty Officer First Class, SEAL Team 7. Her testimony was calm and precise. Troy had picked her up from the airport. They had dinner with a neighbor. Later that night, she took him to urgent care, confirmed by hospital records. No theatrics, just facts. The courtroom seemed to shift in her favor. Then came the moment that as she returned to her seat, Daniels stuck out his knee, deliberate, quiet, cruel. Mia stumbled, but didn't fall. She turned, faced the judge, and asked, "Your Honor, may I speak?" A silence fell as everyone braced for what would come. I've jumped from helicopters under fire. I've carried fallen teammates. But never, until today, have I been assaulted by a police officer in a courtroom in the country I served. Gasps. The judge ordered Daniels out of the room. As the bailiff moved to escort him, Daniels sneered at Mia. "You just made a mistake." Without blinking, she answered, "So did you." The trial's focus shifted. Reporters outside picked up whispers of the incident. Inside, the courtroom buzzed. The robbery case had just collided with a new storm. In the hallway, Troy sat slumped on a bench, eyes glassy. "They offered me 3 years if I plead guilty," he muttered, his voice breaking. "Said the jury won't buy my silence." Mia sat beside him, calm but firm. "Did you do it?" He shook his head. "No, I swear." "Then don't sign anything. Don't give them what they want." He looked away, his voice trembling. "They said Judge Vance doesn't like mouthy defendants, especially black ones." Mia didn't argue. The truth didn't need repeating. Just then, Marcus, assistant to the defense attorney, rushed up. "I printed the hospital logs," he said, handing over papers. "Timestamps, everything. You're both covered." Mia's eyes scanned the proof. "Get verified. Today." Marcus hesitated. "That cop? Daniels? You know who he is?" She nodded slowly. "He patrolled near Montgomery. I remember. He was investigated 2 years ago for false arrests and threats. No charges. Quietly buried. You were one of the agents on it, right?" Mia stared past him. That explained everything. The smirk, the kick, the complaint. It wasn't random. It was personal. At 8:06:07 p.m. The courthouse parking lot was nearly empty. Mia's heels echoed off the pavement until she stopped, sensing someone. "Oliver Grant," she said, spotting a man leaning against a sedan. "Navy SEAL, like her. Grayer now, but sharp-eyed. Watching your 6, he replied, stepping forward. "Daniels just filed a federal complaint. Says you threatened him." Mia's jaw clenched. "He kicked me. There were witnesses. Footage is gone. They're labeling it a glitch. Internal cleanup. Quiet. Fast." Her heart sank. "They're burying it." Oliver nodded. "You've made enemies. And someone's helping him." Then he pulled out a slip of paper she'd given him. Daniel Foster, a name linked to Daniels in a sealed file. Foster was detained 2 years ago, then vanished. No trial, no records. A ghost. "Your cop may be dirtier than we thought," Oliver said. "And this, it's not just about Troy anymore." Mia narrowed her eyes, watching a dark SUV slow roll past the edge of the lot, then disappear. She exhaled, slow and focused. "They're trying to erase more than a video," she whispered. And then, just as she opened her mouth to say more, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. One word in the preview. Run. "A pattern," Mia whispered, staring into the void of her dimly lit kitchen. Oliver's warning from Kandahar echoed in her mind as his taillights faded. She waited until the street outside stilled, then sat at the table, lit only by her battered old laptop's glow. From beneath, she pulled a taped envelope, carefully entering a 10-digit login, an old clearance code that still held weight. The public records had been scrubbed. But behind layers of digital armor lay truth, buried in a folder labeled Maintenance Logs, Floor 2. With a few precise keystrokes, she found it. Raw courtroom footage. Timestamps intact. Audio clear. Unedited. She pressed play. IT began with routine courtroom chatter, then her voice on the stand. Moments later, there it was, her stepping down, file in hand. Daniels didn't move. His leg jutted out like a trap. It struck her sharply in the hip. She stumbled. His smirk followed. Calm, deliberate, proud. Mia froze the frame. This wasn't impulse. It was message. Without hesitation, she copied the video 3 times. The first went to a flash drive hidden in a gutted smoke detector. The second onto a portable hard drive tucked in her car's first aid kit. The third burned to a DVD and slipped inside an old children's book, her mother's favorite. Every action was silent, precise, military muscle memory. Then the lights flickered. The hallway camera's red light blinked out. Mia didn't panic. She powered down the laptop and stashed it beneath the sink. Outside, an unmarked SUV rolled by, headlights off, a red diode pulsing on the dash, surveillance sweep. She was being watched. She grabbed a duffel, boots, burner phone, passport, and her father's service medal. No calls yet. Not until the truth was safe. But she knew this wasn't about Troy anymore. Daniels hadn't attacked her out of arrogance. It was retaliation. They were hiding something. 2 days later, the footage surfaced anonymously. It exploded across the internet. And Daniels, calm, calculated Daniels, appeared on morning news flanked by a union lawyer, denying everything. "She's unstable," he said. "She threatened me in court. What you saw was defense. No apology. No fear. At home." Mia watched his performance stone-faced. Her coffee sat cold. A message from Oliver popped up. "They're digging into your files. Be ready." Her reply, "Let them." But soon, false blogs surfaced. Twisted versions of her deployments. Accusations from years ago, debunked, but now recycled to discredit her. She expected it. Smear first, deny second. Bury the truth in noise. That night, as Troy slept peacefully for the first time in weeks, her phone buzzed. A notification. Live stream. Foster T. Caption. 2 years is enough. She tapped into a teenage boy stood in the hallway of a group home. Hoodie zipped, eyes wide, trembling. His voice was steady. "My name is Daniel Foster," he said. "They said I was hearing voices." "No, I remember things. Things I wasn't supposed to." He looked straight into the camera. "Officer Daniels slammed me into a wall outside Miller's grocery. I was waiting for my grandma. I didn't do anything. He planted something in my bag. No one believed me. Not the court. Not even my lawyer." He paused, swallowed. "But I saw what he did to Ms. Thompson. And if she can stand up after that, then maybe I can too." The stream ended. 10 minutes. No frills. Just truth.by morning. Daniel Foster's name trended across the country. His sealed juvenile record didn't matter. What mattered was his voice, and how many others suddenly felt brave enough to speak. Civil rights groups called for investigations. Veterans stood behind Mia. Activists called it what it was, a culture of silence, now exposed. The next day, the courtroom overflowed. Not with noise, but presence. Silent protest. Unity. Uniforms and civilian clothes alike. People just stood. Inside, Mia took her seat in the front row. This time, no third-row shadows. No hesitation. Troy sat beside her, leg jittering. The prosecutor entered quietly. "Your Honor," she said, voice calm. The state withdraws all charges against Mr. Carter. Effective immediately. A beat passed. Then Judge Vance nodded. You're free to go. The gavel tapped once. No cheers. No dramatic gasps. Just a brother rising beside his sister. Silent strength. Outside, reporters swarmed. Miss Thompson, will you be pressing charges? Mia paused. Turned. No, she said. We don't need to. Justice has already filed the case. The clip spread like wildfire. Not for outrage, but for the calm. For her. That night, a national anchor closed her broadcast with, some verdicts don't need juries. They need witnesses. Later that week, Aaron Daniels was federally indicted for excessive force, obstruction, and retaliatory assault. His mugshot replaced his media statements. His union lawyer disappeared from the spotlight, but it didn't stop there. The front-page expose followed. The Daniels Doctrine, one officer's decade of abuse. Byline, Eleanor Price. Distributed at bus stops, train stations, schools. IT named Daniels enablers. Internal affairs officers who lost files. Superiors who looked away. Whistleblowers, like Oliver, reassigned. But the final line belonged to Daniel Foster. IT read, some kids learn silence. Others break it. And sometimes, one voice is enough to burn the whole mass down. Mia closed the paper and looked at Troy, finally smiling. You ready to live? She asked. He nodded. Then let's go.